Hello and welcome back to the Real Estate Unlimited podcast. My name's Sierra Steinmetz.
Bryan Schube.
Kari Steele.
Bill Jones.
And we're the Jones Home Team.
And this is episode 61, and I'm going to do my best to hold it together here to get rolling. Kari, we are right in the midst of daylight savings time, my, I guess, least favorite. I like it because it's getting close to Christmas, I guess, but I don't like the time change. We're going to talk a little bit about that, stuff you should do for maintenance. Schube, I'm glad you're bringing this up because this one's been, I haven't really dove into this yet. I knew it was coming, but the 50-year mortgage, if 30 wasn't long enough, now we're into 50. Sierra's giving financial advice. And I'm getting into my boy Ryan Serhant. He was going to come on the show, but he ended up going on another show, so left us hanging. So we'll just have to play a video from him then. So I know, boo. Who wants to kick us off?
I'll go first.
All right.
Okay. This is a topic that I thought Bill would appreciate as well because I'm only super in tune with half of it, and I think he's pretty in tune with the other half of it. So the big question, if you had $25K to invest today, would you buy shares or a duplex? I think, as we know, both markets have seen volatility in the stock market and the real estate market, in different ways, swings in the stock market with tech and all that, rising and declining interest rates as they've come over the past 5 or so years in real estate. I know you're a big, investor guy when it comes to
I don't know if it's a big investor
guy.
guy. I like to invest.
The tech stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, big compared to me because I don't even hardly know what a crypto is. But
we don't refer to it as a crypto, but we'll start there.
The Facebook.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The book of face, yes. Is that NVIDIA that they're making those chips and stuff? It's NVIDIA. Nothing. Never mind.
Exactly. So the case for real estate, if you had to pick, I guess by the end of this, some of you guys need to pick stocks or the real estate market. Which one are you going with?
Oh my God, this is going to be tough.
Yeah, you can only pick. You can't do halfsies.
Yeah, well.
Damn.
Oh, crap.
We'll get there.
Well, it'd be
all right.
hard to buy a duplex with $25K.
Well, it could get you. Well, you could own one. You could do a down payment, in our market probably,
Down
but
payment.
yeah. Yeah, that'd get you the front door maybe, but yeah.
So pros for investing in real estate, it is a tangible asset. You can actually see it, control it. Somewhat unlike the stock market, more leverage. You can use other people's money via mortgages. Obviously, $25K is not going to get you the whole duplex, but it could get you a bit of it if you can finance the rest of it then. As we all know, cash flow from rent, and it will appreciate over time. It's not like a car. Almost always, if a house is not completely falling apart and condemned, it's usually going to have more value by the time you go to sell it than when you first bought it, depending on the situation. And then there are tax benefits with that too, which, again, this is not financial advice.
Right.
I would like to put that out there. And then cons, high barrier to entry, as we were just talking about. You have to have a down payment or all cash to buy it or closing costs. And then you're going to have recurring maintenance as well. That's
just the
name of
upfront.
game.
I just bought this place. What needs done right now, right this second?
And usually something
broken
always
window,
needs done.
broken windows
first,
first, furnaces, etc.
Absolutely. Illiquidity, you cannot usually sell it overnight, just like a stock. You can't really just be
the tax bill's due. I need the money tomorrow. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah,
exactly. Time intensive, property management, repairs, tenants in and of themselves. That is a whole rabbit hole we could go down of how that can turn into a lot of time and investment right there. Investment that you will hopefully get return on, but just depends. And then market risk. Local downturns, interest rate spikes. Obviously, that's something that we've seen over the past couple of years. But again, stuff is still selling for more than what it originally was bought for. And people are still making profits, even post-COVID. So real estate's more of just a patience, take your time type of thing. You're not just going to wake up one day and everything's going to be all perfect and great and you're rich. Not to say that that's how it is for stocks too, but it's something that requires more effort potentially, and you have to have the patience for things that are broken. You get a call early in the morning,
you're on call
24/7,
really.
something like that. Yeah, which is why it's perfect because we're already on call. So if we're investing in real estate,
That's toilets and roofs. I think it's a bad thing if you're being a landlord.
Yeah. So the other end, the case for stocks, easy entry. You can start with $100, for example, whatever that looks like. You don't
Which isn't
necessarily
always the case. I'm going to age myself,
Right.
but that wasn't the thing till semi-recently.
Yeah. So but you aren't necessarily needing thousands of dollars or whatever that looks like for a down payment and someone to also approve you for that.
Right.
Like you would with a house. You can sell instantly in most scenarios, I believe. Whereas a house, it takes a little bit more work than that.
Not when you're working with the Jones Home Team, it doesn't. It's
Yeah.
so easy.
So there's a lot of diversification, which this is where right over my head after that, because there's a lot of different options when it comes to investing in stocks that I unfortunately don't know much about, nor have I taken the time to learn. But
Just find yourself a
We'll
really
learn,
good
yeah.
financial advisor.
right. That's what my
Mine's
guy
Bryan
just says.
Schube.
Yeah.
Really, because your guys is you're mine. So if you're his, then
Yeah,
I'd
it's
love
just
to
a big
help you.
circle of madness.
It's like that game Telephone
Yeah.
where it gets
Yes.
passed down, passed down, passed down.
Yeah.
I think that's how real financial advice works, too.
I mean,
It's
yes,
just, yeah.
you're right.
And then historical returns, 7 to 10% was the statistic that I had annually over the long term. Again, that really just depends on what you're investing in. If you're investing well, how
What if I
much
want to
you're
invest my
investing.
pennies that just went off the market?
Well,
Can I invest my pennies? Can I just walk in with a whole sack of nickels?
well, ask Bill. He's the financial advisor.
That is incorrect.
Brian, what do we say to that? No.
Again, emotional roller coaster, kind of in the same sense as real estate too. Just this can probably happen a little bit quicker, and also come back to equilibrium a little quicker as well compared to real estate, where that's a little bit slower of a change. No leverage unless margin trading. I don't know what that is.
Basically
but-
borrowing money to invest.
Oh, okay.
Like you're saying, yeah.
Wow, that's pretty convoluted. I don't know how I feel about that. Less control, because I mean, with real estate, you're also kind of riding along with the market, but obviously the stock market
Time.
is just a little bit quicker than the real estate market. And it's harder to use as collateral, a cash flow source early on. Obviously, that kind of thing takes time. And whereas, and kind of same with real estate as well, but I guess it depends on if it's something that you can flip and turn around and sell, or if you're immediately able to get a bunch of tenants in there and then you can have that cash flow right away. It just kind of depends on the situation.
Right.
So they are a little bit more simple than actually buying a house. That's a pretty serious thing. But you can't call the CEO when your portfolio drops 10%. So that's a big thing.
You could
there.
try. You could try. Just try to hit him up on Twitter or
Yeah.
X, I guess. Maybe they might respond. She tweets Elon all the time. I don't think he ever responds, but
That's what she tells us.
oh man.
Maybe
So
that's
what's the
false.
question then? We need to decide if we're
Yeah, which we're gonna do.
If
So
you're
I've got
investing-
$25,000. I need to put it into stocks or real estate, and that's my only. I can't mix it up. I can't. You
Right.
just talked about diversification. I can't diversify.
Not
One or
in
the
this
other.
scenario.
For me, I'm probably going to go duplex because I've got adult kids, and it always comes back to having a place for somebody else in my family to go, even though that's like not the financial part of it. That's just my emotional decision.
Right.
So that would be me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, duplex. I think real estate is the longer safe bet over time. Obviously, it's just a lot more work, especially
Yep.
Right.
maintaining tenants. You're going to have people in and out. So I think it's just a lot more work, which obviously comes with a little bit, hopefully, better return on investment.
Right.
Oh man, I don't know. Like, so it just goes to like, what's your goal? I guess
Right.
is really what it
Right.
is. Like, what's your time horizon versus like 10 years ago? I'd probably be buying more real estate. Today, I'm probably buying more stock than. But I just threw it in ChatGPT, like, of course, because that's,
Oh, yeah.
that's the end result right there. That's the
What is it? What
definitive
do we
end.
say?
So I just said, if I put $25,000 10 years ago, I should do now today too. Now today, then 10 years. We'll see what it comes up with that. It said if you put $25,000 in 10 years ago in a broad stock market index fund, you'd have $80,000 today. So that 25 would turn into almost 80. Into real estate, it says 45 to 50. So you'd be money ahead in theory from the stock market, but kind of you hit on then too. Does that mean that the market, it's just because of right now, the market's
I
doing
know.
super
That's-
well?
that's where I'm
a
at.
year from now and it tanks, then you're totally upside down. Or like you're saying, Brian, it's always a safe bet or to where that is.
Even if the stocks are gone, you still have the house. You still have the,
Yes,
you know what I
you
mean?
still
Even
have
if
a
it's shit
physical-
rent, even if
Yeah.
rent goes like from 1,000 to 300, you still have that. So I don't know.
And I think it depends on, your ability to do stuff, because obviously if you have a duplex or a rental, if you can handle a lot of the maintenance stuff yourself, that's obviously
right.
going to help save
Yes.
costs. Whereas
And
if
time
you're
is money.
hiring every single thing out, it's
Yeah.
going to cost you a lot more money too. And then obviously if you look at it from a time frame, your schedule, do you have the time and the money and the effort to
Right.
be able to put into the property? Whereas with stocks, hey, if you're your financial advisor, here's $25,000.
take care
Do
of it for
something
me.
with it.
Yeah. Well, I just need to get a little higher up on the food chain, I guess.
Right. Well, I think it goes everything, like what your life looks like, what your needs are, what your time
Yeah.
horizon looks like makes a huge difference for what that would be. So I think, I don't know, I've seen the numbers a couple times. Chris, our buddy here, did financial advisor. He talked that a few times. Look at the S&P, like the numbers over time always goes up. We always talk about real estate too. It's always going to go, in theory, should always go up. The dollars seem to continue to inflate. They don't make any more land. They can always
Right.
make more
Yeah,
stock
yeah.
and more businesses, but there's only so much land.
So much land. Mhm.
So I don't know. I don't know which direction I would go. If you had to hold a gun on me, I had to pick. I want to say stocks, but I'd probably go real estate.
Yeah.
Honestly, because
I know I'd
it
rather
just-
do
yeah.
stocks,
Yes.
but then I would just come right back and do real estate.
Yeah, but again, I'm cheap. I want a good deal.
I would say,
so,
and plus-
it depends on what it is.
What do they say too? You don't only put into the market what you're
Willing to lose.
What you're willing to lose.
you're willing
yeah.
to lose or able to lose. Yeah.
Which I don't feel like you would. I mean, you can lose anything, but like a house, as long as it's insured and as long as you keep up
Yeah.
on it, I don't feel like you're ever going to lose
Right,
the house
exactly.
necessarily. You don't make the payment or don't pay
Right.
the taxes you're going to, but I think you should probably be all right. And it always
like a safer
appreciates,
bet.
and you always have a place to live at the end of the
Yeah,
day. So
right.
I can't live under my, stock papers. Like, I don't even get paper anymore. So, but yeah, the barrier to entry, like we were talking to, is so much easy. It's still very hard to get into real estate if you're not already in it. I feel like, or if you're just trying to get going, it's tough to. Where you can now get on Robinhood and buy something for $5.
Yeah.
Right.
You start
Yeah.
investing. So I think that would be a big part of it too. Maybe somebody could start investing, hopefully save some money to buy a house eventually. But yeah, because you can't maybe eventually here talking about crypto, maybe eventually they'll tokenize a house and you can buy a little piece of a house then. So instead of go buying the whole house, you can go buy $5, $10, eventually maybe own a whole home at some point. We'll talk
That's
about
crazy
we'll
to
talk
think
about
that
them
might
cryptos later, don't you worry. So
All right. How about I hop into something lighthearted and not as
daylight savings time?
I don't want to say like brain buster
Yeah.
because I feel like that's
how I feel when I start talking about the stock.
yeah, because then you automatically start thinking about your own finances and like, what should I be doing? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Good question. But daylight savings time, it's got us asleep. I can't even say my words because it's got us asleep at 4:00. Daylight savings time, like what are you supposed to be doing when daylight savings happens? I think I've done this before, but I think it's a really good time to revisit these things. Ends up being about every 6 months that you want to do these things. So daylight savings time just happens to be a good time to do those. Change your furnace filters. I think a lot of people don't even realize that your furnace has a filter. I would say there may be some, heatless, ventless, whatever heaters. This is just a traditional furnace. If you're a tenant, a lot of times you're responsible. We're talking about like the maintenance for a tenant. A lot of times you're responsible for that. So if you've been in a house for 3, 4, 5 years and you're like, I'm supposed to be changing a filter. Yeah, you should probably go look at that.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
like
I think most tenants aren't doing that.
no, for our family, we have 3 furnaces, 3 hot water heaters, 3 central air units, whatever in our house. And when I change them, it's usually, if it's not like 3 months or whatever when you're supposed to, it's whenever we start feeling like we're going to sneeze or our
sure,
eyes
sure.
start to get itchy. I'm like, I'm going to go check that furnace filter. And sure enough, it's dirty.
Jam full of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you have
How-
pets too, you probably
Exactly.
want to do it a little more often.
Yeah. And then the
That's
cold
mine,
air
yeah.
and like the returns, like depending upon if you have the big grate in the floor, like
Mm-hmm.
for self-rising heat, or if you have like a cool air or hot air return, those ducts can get really caked up with like
sure.
dirt and debris, especially like bathrooms because of the moisture in there. So just give it a quick, you don't have to get in there with a toothbrush, just get in there with a quick wipe and just,
Clean
wipe
it out.
those down. Smoke detector batteries, if it's not chirping at you, that's a good thing, but you should probably change it more often than not. They say every 6 months, but if you got a Duracell in there, you're probably good for, a year or two. But if you forget, then you're
Right. I've come to find if you have more than one, like I've got a bunch of them in my house, if one of them starts chirping, I just change all of them.
Yeah.
There you
Because
go.
if not, then you end up just you hear them chirping all over the place, and you got to
Yep.
try to track down which one it was.
Yep.
So
It's hard. Like, if you don't have them, first off, you should have them. But second off, like 9-volt batteries are very expensive, but at what expense is your life and your kids' lives or your pets'
Yeah,
lives?
right,
So,
right.
you know, you're looking at $19-20 for a couple batteries. Yeah, that sucks. And that's a lot to digest
Yeah.
when you have to buy like several packs of them, but you're putting what, $100 price tag on your
Yeah.
life. Just get them, have them.
I think if you go to the fire stations, a lot of times they have them. They'll give them to you.
That's true.
Too. I think.
Yes.
I don't know if that's always. That doesn't mean go could get free 9-volt batteries, but like if you really
No,
need
but
a
you're
battery,
right. They will.
You know?
Yeah, they do have those packs that you can pick up from here. And a lot of times too, if you're disabled or if you're a senior or you're not capable of doing it, a lot of times even there's organizations that will come install them
Yeah.
for you. So just check. There's no reason not to have
You're
one.
not
Let's put
disabled,
it that
Bryan.
way. Flip or rotate your mattress. We made a joke about this before it started, but I think it
Yeah,
depends
how'd
on.
that go?
I think it depends on like what kind of mattress you have, right? So me and Bobby have the newer style, so we wouldn't have to rotate it, or flip it upside down, but we would have to rotate it so
Right.
that you don't get the,
Yeah, your body impression in
buttholes.
there. Yes, yeah.
We
You're just
call 'em
stuck there.
buttholes.
Yeah.
And then also too, if you have an older mattress, you might want to take the vacuum and just vacuum off, your upholstery. That's a good time every 6 months or so,
Sure.
especially more if you have pets.
I'm definitely not
Yeah.
doing that as much as I should.
Ooh, this is a good one. Remove outdated food or spices. Sorry, Grandma, I'm coming for you.
Oh God, yeah. That's us.
I've turned
horribly.
into that.
Yeah,
I've
you get
literally
the
turned
pantry
into
full of
grandma.
stuff. Yeah.
Last
Oh,
night I was
not
making
me.
soup and I looked up there and I have one of those huge taco things, that
Yes,
are like
the
massive.
big seasoning thing.
And it expired like this summer. And I'm like, well, that's lame. I'm going to keep using it, but I probably should go.
That's a big debate in our house because Kelly would immediately be in the trash. I'd be using that thing till it's gone for sure.
Yeah, I think as long as
Like-
it doesn't get moisture or if it's like crazy old, then,
Yeah.
Drain your hot water heater. So we talked about that too. I think don't just go drain it, but actually either have a qualified professional do that for you, somebody that knows what they're doing, or take the step-by-step to look up your specific model and see how to do that.
Right.
So you don't make any mistakes. Deep cleaning your washing machine. Believe it or not, I spent about 20 to 25 minutes cleaning the seal on my washing machine. I've got a front loader LG, and the whole thing, like my clothes were like kind of starting to stink, and I put a little bit of vinegar in there. I got in there with my hand and wiped it out
Right.
with a washcloth. And then I looked at the seal and I'm like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Like I almost wanted to take a video, but I was so ashamed at how bad it looked. I couldn't even do that.
Yeah.
So I got on Amazon and ordered myself a new seam, but don't forget to keep your seam clean on your front loader, because you're even regular washer machines, you're supposed to leave the door open. Just so you know, Brian, leave the door open when you do your laundry at the new house with the new laundry machine.
In the laundry room?
Wait.
Yes.
Really? Oh, I've never heard that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
Because
God, I
it-
thought you meant on the machine.
if you
I
shut-
was
Just leave it
I
open.
am.
Just leave it a crack. Just,
Maybe that's like a
am.
refrigerator. When you have it unplugged, you're supposed to leave the door.
Yeah,
cracked.
no,
Leave it
I'm
open?
dead
Really?
serious.
Okay, I
Yes.
didn't know that. Yeah.
So if you have, I think it's even a normal washing machine, even if it's a top loader, you're supposed to leave it open, because if you think about it, it's wet, and if you
Right.
shut it, you're just creating a
just
moisture
keeping all that
mold.
stuff in
like,
there. I keep
So
ours
you
always
open
has
it up.
laundry in it 24/7, so
So
it's
does
never
ours.
empty.
I
Like so, it never
know.
even
We do
matters.
so
I
much
can't leave it
freaking
open.
laundry.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got on Amazon and ordered a
You
seal.
can get, what is it, a fresh? I've used that. You just chuck it in
Yes,
there and run.
I
I've done
use
that in a
that.
dishwasher and the washing machine. So
Yep.
yeah, that works pretty well.
Dude, and clean your oven somewhat
Ours is so
frequently.
bad.
Oh my gosh. I like it didn't look bad to me really, and then I went to clean my oven the other day for the first time, and I'm not going to say how long. And all of a sudden my whole afternoon was
Turns into cleaning
dedicated
the oven.
to
bad.
scrubbing my oven, and I was like, wait, this is so disgusting.
So steamer, get a steamer
Yes,
from like
those things are
Amazon
amazing,
and
yes.
just
Well,
steam all
thanks
the
for letting
ick.
me know.
Right.
I didn't know you needed to clean
I
it,
was
but
in there with the scrub
No,
daddy.
don't ever
just
clean a
like
refrigerator
elbows
without those
deep.
steamers. Those steamers are
Oh.
amazing. It's it'll change
that's
your
good
world.
to know. I didn't
Yes.
even, when we got that new
Yes.
fridge, I didn't even clean the old one. I'm just like, hey,
Yeah.
scrap metal guy,
Nope,
come and get
hit it
it.
with that steamer then.
Don't show anybody that it came from my house, but that's my old junker
Yeah.
going out.
Yeah.
Catch up with stains
Talk
on the
about
door.
it.
Oh, this is a good one. Clean fridge coils. So pull your refrigerator out. There's a little element in the back that has coils on it. Just give that a little brush, either with like a broom.
That'd be a lot
or,
of effort.
I
probably
definitely
be
need to
worth
do that one.
So that's a pain in the butt, but you're gonna save yourself $2,000 if you have to go get a new fridge.
That's
So,
true.
and a lot of times it'll just stop working, and you're like, "Why is my fridge not working anymore?" It's because there's a bunch of like dust and dog
Just
hair
jam full
stuck
stuff.
to
Yeah,
the
it does-
back
it
of
does
your
get that way.
coils. And you, if you didn't know, because we didn't
Right.
find out, we were probably 10 years into our marriage, house, whatever, before we're like, oh, we're supposed to clean that. We have some guy come out, pay him $150 to take a toothbrush and brush off some coils.
care of that.
Like, oh, I feel stupid. But now we know.
Do you have to unplug the fridge to do that?
You probably should.
Okay.
Yeah. The stuff's good in there as long as you remember to plug it back in. Your food's not going to go bad if you unplug it for an hour or so. Just remember to plug it back in.
I love my little vintage fridge from 1975, and sometimes I just get scared if I unplug it.
It'll never fire back up. She'll be done.
Brave little toaster. Clean your baseboards, blinds, ceiling fans, and light fixtures. Windows and windowsills, which I think windows and windowsills, if you're going to put plastic on your windows, that's probably a good time. You're taking a look at them. You know, you're going to winterize them if you have older windows or a historic home. And then, like I said, vacuum your mattress. So I'm sure there's a ton more, but these are kind of some of the big things. I think the biggest ones are like your smoke detectors and your furnace filters,
right?
Things like that. Maintaining the things that you have so that you don't have to go out and buy new, or if you're renting, so that you don't have to have that service call.
Well, thanks, Kari. If daylight saving times wasn't depressing enough, now you gave me a laundry list of stuff to do now.
I'll see you in the spring,
to
boss.
get done before 4 o'clock when it starts getting
Right.
dark.
Exactly.
Hang on a second. I think I'm feeling a theme here where all of my podcast topics lately have been related to home maintenance. I think I'm trying to tell me or Bobby something.
I was
Yeah.
say
that-
you're
You're
sending
floating
it to
something out
Bobby
there.
every
yeah,
week.
I'm not trying to manifest all this work, but
So Kelly, on the off chance you're watching this, just delete this one. So we're not doing this, all right? All right. We'll zip into Schube here real quick. So 50-year mortgage. Tell us all about that.
Yeah, I think the Trump administration, along with I think it was somebody from one of the financial departments, is really starting to push the idea of a 50-year mortgage. Obviously, a lot of people have different thoughts, opinions on whether that'd be a good thing or a bad thing. As far as the 50-year mortgage, obviously it would lower monthly payments. But honestly, from looking at some numbers and stuff from a couple of these different websites, it honestly wouldn't lower it by a whole heck of a lot. Stretching a loan from 30 to 50 years only slightly reduces monthly payments, giving buyers some relief on affordability, but not enough to drastically change their purchasing power. The trade-off is enormous long-term cost. Borrowers could end up paying nearly double the total interest compared to a 30-year loan. What you save monthly, you lose in a lifetime of interest. So, obviously, if you're only saving $100, but you're paying $100,000 more in interest, I mean, that's a pretty drastic change.
But people will do it, though.
Oh,
like if they can get their
100%.
$100 a month difference in payment and it gets them the house,
Yeah.
they'll do it.
Yeah,
They do it with
wild.
cars now. I mean, they went from
84 or 85 month
insane.
car loans.
I did not to jump ahead of here, Shu, but I did. You already have it there, but I did a calculator here, an amortization schedule.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
did 250 at a 15-year, 6% interest. You end up paying back 379. Or I'm sorry, total interest 129. So if you do a 15 years, only 129. If you do it out to a traditional 30 years, 289. If you put it out to 50 years, $539,000 you're paying in interest to save. What's a monthly payment? I had it here somewhere, but yeah, they did exactly to your point though. It was really not much of a difference at all in the monthly
I
payment.
think that graph kind of shows then. So on a $300,000 house for, I guess, a $500,000 house, 30 years versus 50 years, and then typically with a longer term amount, your interest rate is going to be higher as well.
Right.
So, Bill, if you want to scroll back up just a tad, right there, you can see for a 30-year, your monthly principal and interest would be roughly $3,100, whereas with your 50-year, it'd be $2,900. So you're saving $169 a month. However, you're paying an additional $642,000 in interest.
What a deal!
No, I do think there's one scenario where this would work, and that would be if there was a family that had disabled children, or they were on a fixed income for the rest of their life, and it didn't matter about making that money. They're going to be in this house indefinitely because
if you're never gonna leave.
you're never
then-
going to leave. This is the house you're going to be in, and that. Long term, they're always going to have a payment, but the doctor's nearby or the pharmacies, whatever's nearby.
Sure.
And they're on that fixed income. And so that $100 or $200 or $300 a month makes more sense than them not paying that interest.
And not having a
but
home
not
maybe,
for
yeah.
an investment and not for a starter that somebody's going to go in and do like a 2 to 5 year
Because
flip.
at the end of the day too, because obviously your monthly payment can change if taxes or insurance go up, so you're
Sure.
always going to have that fluctuation then as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but guarantee that. Like, so if you're a $135 a month payment difference over in the next 10 years, your insurance and taxes are going to just
go
eat
up.
that up well beyond that anyways then, and you're still
Yeah.
paying way more in interest.
Yeah, I think I read, I don't know if it was this
outrageous.
article or a different article, that with a 30-year loan, pretty much your first 8 years is paying off,
You
the
just
interest.
front load the interest,
Yeah,
so,
the
yeah.
interest.
Yeah.
Whereas with a 50-year, it would be the first 20 years
Yeah,
would
20
pay
years.
just interest.
Golly.
So just a couple other points there, which we kind of already hit. Obviously, with rates, the different loan. If you go with a longer loan, your interest rate is going to be
Higher.
typically higher. Regulations make 50-year loans hard to offer. Mortgages longer than 30 years don't qualify as qualified mortgages under the Dodd-Frank rules. That means they carry more risk, fewer consumer protections, and less appeal to lenders and investors. So not as many lenders might be able to offer or want to offer 50-year mortgages due to the having a little bit more insecurity and risk.
I feel the only one that's getting this loan is a person or family that shouldn't probably be buying
It's
the house
exactly
anyways.
it.
It's literally the people that are getting this loan. They can't qualify any other way.
Yep.
They're whatever. Even if their credit's okay, they should not be buying that home for
Yep.
a 50-year mortgage. I think that's just insanity.
They're the ones that'll do it.
And then lastly, good idea or financial trap. While longer terms could help affordability in high price markets, the overall risk and cost might outweigh the benefit. So I guess I think that's kind of the conclusion I'm getting from you guys is 50-year mortgage would be a lot.
I think that's
Asinine.
financial suicide. I think that's
100%.
insanity. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel that way about 30-year mortgage, and I
Yes,
have
that's
one.
just
Like,
crazy. Like what's like Dave Ramsey? He's always, like a 15-year, I think is what
Yeah.
he's always shooting for, something like that. So that's only 35 years more.
but
than
10,
that.
15, and 20 makes
I mean, it's
sense
just crazy
in your
because,
lifetime.
again, if you have a 50-year mortgage and you don't even buy a house till you're 20, by the time your house is
Yeah.
paid off, you're 70 years
Yes.
old.
Yeah.
Because you're paying, and you can't even borrow against it in the first 20 years because it's all interest.
Yeah.
You don't
Right.
even have
I mean,
an
you're not
equity.
really building a whole lot of equity.
I don't
building
even want
none.
to look at that schedule on a 50-year mortgage. How much is front loaded
No
with interest? Like you're
kidding.
probably
just
not
rent,
making a
just rent, and
dent
then
in
you.
that principal.
Yeah,
Yes,
because then you're
yes.
also on top of all the high interest and all that stuff. You also now have maintenance on top of that. So just rent.
But nothing's been decided, but it sounds like they're pushing for that pretty hard. So
Ugh.
So would that be maybe because like bigger cities, the basic cost of a house is so high? Like maybe around here wouldn't make sense on a 250, but like on a $850,000, 1,200 square foot house in a big city.
Make that big of a difference. For the difference in a monthly payment, I think it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. I don't know that. I mean, move a little
I mean,
further
if
out
it
of
was
town.
like
you
if
know,
it was like
Yeah.
$1,000 difference on a $500,000
Sure.
home, then maybe. But for $160, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that
if
is.
you can't afford $160 extra a month,
Yeah, why
for
are you buying a
50-year loan, you
$500,000
probably shouldn't.
house?
Yeah,
and you should be tacking 20 years onto your, I guess, normal 30-year mortgage. I think that's just
wild.
nuts. I'm sure there's some circumstances, like you said, Carrie, like maybe there's a few instances where it makes sense, or
Yeah.
if you knew you're going to refi, you're getting a big job advancement or something. But even then, wait till you get the promotion.
That's
You know,
Right.
like keep rent for
Yeah, I
another
don't
year.
know.
Like, ugh, that's bad. Okay, well now you got me mad, Brian. I don't like that at all.
It is
Fired
crazy.
up.
I
I
think
will-
they're just
it
making
sounds like you're going to refinance.
all
into
the-
it.
Yeah, right into a 50-year.
No, all they're doing is trying to pretend like there's actually something happening that they're trying to fix the housing market. And a 50-year mortgage is not going to fix the
not
housing
gonna
market. It's
fix
going to
that.
make it worse.
I mean, that might get those
Period.
couple people that couldn't finance it otherwise can now suddenly
I
do
get
that.
it.
Yeah,
And-
until they figure out they actually can't afford it even at 50 years, and then that goes into foreclosure. and then
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Then
the
you
house
got a
is back on the
shithole.
mar- yeah, and then it's
Yeah.
a piece of crap house sitting
It's like
on the
a
market.
buy here, pay here car thing where you get a 20-year-old
Yes.
car for the price of a new one almost, and then the
Right.
interest. It's like you're paying $500 or $600 a month for that.
Right. And I know, okay, so this is just something for me. Like, I guess as far as our team or whatever, like, this isn't an option yet then, too. And I guess we got to let people do what they want to do. It's not our job to make a decision. But if anyone ever says, I'm buying this
Sorry.
house with a 50-year mortgage, like, we need to sit down and have a real conversation with them.
Yeah.
Because that is no bueno. That is
Yeah.
bad. There's no reason
And
they
I'm
should be
gonna
doing
say,
that.
who the hell is letting you do that with your
Right.
money?
be like-
Who's giving you that?
Be like, Sierra, I know you want that commission check, but no, they can't. They cannot do it with a 50-year mortgage. We need to figure something else out. That's just crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
Ugh. All right. I'm gonna try to make this work here again. I don't know if this will work well for us or not here. My boy Ryan Serhant. So we were just talking about if I can get this video to work here. Him. So if you don't know him, he's reality star of Buying Manhattan.
I think
something
or
like that.
Owning Manhattan.
Owning Manhattan
Yeah.
or whatever. So, him and I are good buds. We hang around, do a lot of things. So we were just talking about fraud, fake buyers. We just talked about that recently then too. And I was listening to this podcast he was on with the Iced Coffee Hour. He went right into that. So I think it kind of something he tells a good story
Even
here.
if you send $1, like what are you going to do? Sit in court for 3 years
Oh, wait.
to talk about a guy that was just
Oh, wait.
like sell.
I'm already way past where I need to be.
Fake buyer. There's career con artists. There's career assholes. There's career dirtbags. Yeah, of course.
So, are you good at then reading these people
You
out?
try. I mean,
Like, what are the signs you look for?
name dropping. They talk too much. Most of the time, they talk too much. Obviously, so that's one. That's early on in a phone call. Okay. They also talk on the phone. Two, ungoogleable. Like if you're buying something, you're saying you have a budget of over $10 million, and I can't find you anywhere.
Which we've had
If you're
those.
social sketchy, if you're not really Googleable, if the money comes from your mom or your grandmother, or it came from this, or a settlement here or there, like, right? And then you'll get a bank statement. Sometimes you want to check a proof of funds, and instead of calling the number on the fake bank statement, you just call the bank.
Which how often we've seen that? Quite a few times where you get that information. They're like, oh, just call this whatever. I mean, the license you just showed the other day.
Yeah.
You know, home phone number, and you call and say, hey, does this person work here? And you try to talk to them, and oftentimes they don't exist. So those are some of the pretty easy ways to double check. But it does still happen. Like we just had a case, someone, a known guy in a town that we sell in Florida, like goes to the gym with our agents, been around. Seemed totally normal. Said he wanted to buy a vacation property to rent out, right? He's getting into the hotel and hospitality business. $90 million. Has a banker.
Okay, we don't have $90 million buyers here then too. So what I loved about this was like a real person, which I've talked about that I think last week, where it wasn't somebody we knew, but it was a real human being we saw. It wasn't just some random email.
I mean,
or
especially
WhatsApp.
with ChatGPT, going back to like the driver's license, it's so easy. I'm sure you could put in create me a fake bank
Absolutely,
statement, and
yeah.
it would shoot something out.
fake
Yeah.
documents, fake
Is
bank
everything,
statement, yeah,
the money's
tax
there,
forms.
no problem. Gets his attorney to put on attorney letterhead that money is in escrow for the down payment, which I think at that point it was 5%, so it was like $4.5 million. Just telling the attorney, hey, I'm going to wire it to you tomorrow. I want to lock up the deal. Can you just let them know that it's here? It's going to be here. And the attorney was like, yeah, sure. So we have this attorney letter.
Which we just had that one. It was a banker. The guy had the banker just completely befuddled and same kind of
$4.5 million
thing.
in escrow. We go to our sellers and say, hey, this deal is legit. It's an attorney letter. Let's move forward. The guy's normal. We see him around town all the time. And slowly but surely, we're like, hey, when are you going to release the... Oh, another issue with the contract. Okay, no, but let's work through it. Like we're holding the property off market. Okay, what about that? Oh, I need to do another revision. Here, there. 30 days. Money never was ever in escrow.
Just
It
lost
never,
time on
ever came
market.
through. He stopped checking his phone. Started calling us under a different phone number. Started dodging meeting in town, even though he was there. And the whole thing was fake. Even he never sent Fed reference numbers, which is wire fraud. But he was sending emails like, no, I told my attorney to wire the funds. I'm going to...
Which I have gotten those. I've had the people send fake, which again, how are you ever going to catch the person? Like the fake, hey, we just wired money, we sent money wherever then. But
Fire that attorney. Let me get back to you. That buys 48 hours, right? Because we're like, see, okay. And then you sit there and you wait and you call and the number's been disconnected. Oh, yeah, dude.
So he gets to the point here, now we're sitting here and watch someone else's podcast forever here, but then he gets to the other part here then too, where, well, so that was kind of the question then too. What's the end game with that? Like why do all
why?
this? Like screwing around. And the part he's talking about here, he goes on for several more minutes. I won't bore you with it, but the guy's just flexing for his girlfriend is all it was. So he's got this new girlfriend he's trying to impress, wants to go show these $20-30 million homes.
Yeah.
You know, they show up and then they go buy him lunch. You know, so now the agents then like, well, I want to get this $90 million deal done. So they're buying him lunch, taking him off. You know, let me find, you know, I'll hook you up with all my vendors, give you our discounts and stuff like that. And the guy's just trying to, you know, impress his new, Italian girlfriend.
read about them.
So then we get into like, okay, we've had people do fake or try to intercept wires and things like that from the title company. He talks about that a little bit
I've
then
never
too.
really been caught up in one other than like what we were just talking about. So
It's only like another 30 seconds, I think, minute.
I dare you.
And an ad. We got the ad.
So we watched that, the movie, we were talking about Pistol Pete with the billboards.
Yes, yeah.
My best man, or whatever, the best man or whatever. And that was one of the things that the friend called out was like, this guy walking here, he's like, he's not buying a house. Look at his pants or look at his clothes or what car he's driving. He's
Right.
like, he's just trying to impress that new girl.
Yeah.
And that was it. He was just pretending to house shop in this
That's
multi-million-dollar
crazy.
home. I wonder.
Narcissist final boss.
But even around
Right,
here,
right.
I wonder how often that happens in like a $250,000 price point, and we just don't know because it's so common for people to just look at a normal priced house.
Right.
Yeah, we don't have
But-
$90 million houses for
No.
people calling to go look
right,
at.
yeah.
But yeah, you just wonder.
And we have had people wanting to look at homes or whatever, just kind of tire kickers. But
Yeah,
a lot of times
like
it's
I'm
open
approved for
house,
125, but I want to see a
it.
3.
Right,
on
right.
a
Yeah.
smaller house.
Let's see if I can get this here, and then we'll just wrap this up here. Oh, can't hear it.
Company, they find the buyer's info, will send them wire instructions.
Oh yeah, it's wild.
And then the buyer wires the money
fish
to
the email.
fake account.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then escrow calls, hey, we never got the money.
Yeah.
The buyer says, I sent $2 million yesterday.
Yep.
What do you mean you didn't get it?
And
Yeah,
they
we
don't do the
have
voice
it.
verification.
Right.
That happened to one of our clients. The attorney's email was hacked. No one knew. An email came into the attorney's email from who they thought was the seller because it had almost an identical email address.
Which we've
It's
seen
people
that.
send at Microsoft emails, but
Yeah.
it's at RN, I, et cetera. So it looks like an M when you look at
I
it.
get that
really,
from
really
Google all the
closely.
time.
And
Jeez.
it had all the numbers. The numbers were all correct, and the bank and information wire, and he just had a paralegal who sent out the money. Gone forever.
Big
Insurance
nuts,
gone.
they never got
No, completely gone forever. There's
Wow.
nothing you can do. Just gone.
Oh, that's gonna make me sick.
Yeah, right? I mean, that's terrible. So, yeah, not to just sit here and watch someone else's podcast, but I thought that was a pretty interesting story. And you don't have to be selling, billion-dollar condos in Manhattan for this stuff to happen. I mean, this
Yeah.
stuff happens in small-town America, too. So that's why I guess just to kind of course, that always sounds better. You're talking about a $90 million deal versus our $200,000 deal. I lost $1,000. But, like, these people are losing millions of dollars. But
Yeah.
it happens everywhere.
Well, what's the most counterfeit bill? It's 20, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
maybe it's not the $90 million that they're looking after.
Yeah,
it's
they're just looking for the small potato things
Yep.
then too. So, I mean, we've talked about this before as far as for safety, just making sure that, us agents, us clients, you make sure you're verifying work before
Yeah.
you're sending money. And
vet your people.
don't just believe, like we talk with documents and too, don't believe that they just send you something, because I could probably here in about 30 seconds create a whole set of documents, fake driver's license, fake bank account info, fake tax returns with my friend ChatGPT. The robots will do anything for you. So I don't know, wild. I don't know. So I guess don't let buyers, sellers waste your time and double check your documents, I guess. So,
Yeah.
yep. And then Ryan, I guess next time, don't cancel on us and show up to our show. Don't do their show. I mean, I know they only have a couple million more subscribers, but whatever. I got something else, but we've been rambling forever here. So, you guys got anything else kicking around?
Nope.
I don't think
When's,
so.
when's daylight savings over? Not,
Not
soon
soon
enough.
enough,
This,
yeah.
this is the first time I've noticed my kids have very much so had a big problem with
Yeah.
that. Like they've made
So
comments every day about it, how dark it gets and how stupid it is, and
So
maybe
we
it's
really
good.
got screwed when we went to Alabama because we lost an hour because of the time change going
Yeah.
there, and then we lost an hour to daylight savings time. So it was a 2-hour time change, and we were just like, it was like jet lag. It was like, we're like hungry at like 10 in the morning, and then we're tired early. It was just messed up.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, that's rough then too. And then no on 50-year mortgages. Don't do it.
Nope.
So is it even an option yet? I guess
I
did
don't
we
think
talk
it is
about-
as of yet, just
Okay.
yet. So
Yeah, I don't like it. So
Well, if it is, don't do it.
don't do it. Bad. Not financial advice, but don't do it. So, all right, that's episode 61. Check back to 62, and I think that'll be pretty close to Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
so.
I'll have to get turkey hats or something.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
All right, that's it. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things, and we will see you next time.